My dear students, today our topic is impulse or impulse of a force. Students, before going to start this article, firstly I will tell you what is momentum and what is the relation between momentum and second law of motion. And students, we all know the momentum is the measure of the motion of a body. It means if you want to measure the motion of a body, you just do one thing, you just measure momentum. And momentum is the product of mass and velocity. So P is equal to mv. And the momentum is a vector quantity and it has the same direction as that of velocity. And second law of motion, when a force acts on a body, it produces an acceleration. That acceleration is directly proportional to force and it is inversely proportional to the mass of the body. So I mean mathematically you can write down this statement as F is equal to ma. Now come to the article, students. We have the name of the article is impulse or impulse of a force. I've just told you that momentum is the product of mass and velocity. So it's a vector quantity and it has the same direction as that of velocity. Now consider an example. Let's suppose we have a football is there and its motion is linear motion and its initial velocity is vi, and that football having mass m and its initial velocity is vi and it's moving, I think it's moving, its initial velocity is vi. Let some force F acts on it in that direction and the football gain its final velocity, I mean Vf, its velocity changes to Vf in time delta t. Now students, look at again here. Consider a football having mass m and its velocity is Vi, it's moving with the initial velocity Vi. Let some force F acts on it and its velocity changes to Vf in time delta t. As the velocity is changing, students, as the velocity is changing, so therefore there will be an acceleration and the acceleration is equal to A is equal to delta V over delta t. So acceleration is equal to delta V over delta t. There is change in velocity, students. And we all know how we can get the change in velocity, just subtracting initial velocity from the final velocity. So I mean Vf minus Vi divided by delta t. So that is the acceleration we have. A is equal to Vf minus Vi over delta t. So this acceleration or change in velocity is produced due to this applied force. If there is no force applied, there will be no change in velocity, students. So we will apply the second law of motion. According to second law of motion, we have second law of motion, F is equal to ma. F is vector, mass is scalar and acceleration is vector. So F is equal to m. By inserting the value of the acceleration in that equation, we get F is equal to m Vf minus Vi divided by delta t. So by multiplying m inside it, so we get mVf minus mvi divided by delta t. What is mvf? It is the final momentum, students. mvf, it is the final momentum and that is pf. And how we get the initial momentum? pi, by just multiplying mass with the initial velocity, we get initial momentum. So initial momentum Pi is equal to mvi and final momentum is equal to mvf. Putting these values in that equation, we get that is Pf minus Pi divided by delta T. It's a vector quantity. So Pf minus Pi divided by delta T. Mass is always constant. So with no change in mass. I mean mass remains same as it is. So it's the final momentum and the initial momentum. Now students, what is this? It is the change in momentum. Pf minus Pi, that is the change in momentum. Delta P divided by delta T. What is this students? It is that relation. It shows that the rate of change of momentum, is equal to applied force. So that relation relates the force, the momentum with the second law of motion. That relation gives the relation between momentum and second law of motion. What it shows? It shows that the rate of change in momentum is equal to applied force. Now our target is we are looking for impulse towards you just cross multiply both the things. We have F into delta T. F into delta T is equal to delta P. F into delta T, that is impulse, and it is noted by I, and I is equal to delta P towards. So I is equal to delta P. What is impulse? Now we are in a better position to define this impulse. You can define it when a large force acts on a body for short time, then the product of such force and time is called impulse. So let's look at again here. The definition of the impulse is when a large force acts on a body, the force should be large. When a large force acts on a body for short time, then the product of such force and time is called impulse. So I is equal to delta P once. Now come to its units first. The SI unit of force, that is Newton. The SI unit of time, is a second. So its SI unit is Newton second, and it has the same unit as that of momentum. So it means I is equal to delta P. It means impulse is a vector quantity and it is equal to change in momentum towards. So I is equal to delta P. I is impulse or impulse of a force, and it is equal to change in momentum, and it has the unit Newton second, and it has the same unit as that of momentum. So I mean both having the same unit. I is equal to delta P once. And in the last we will define here impulsive force. Impulsive force once. What is impulsive force? So impulse of force is different words. Impulsive force is different. Important thing is, so I'll look at again here. There is a difference between impulse of a force or impulsive force. What is impulsive force? It is a large force. It is a large force acts on a body. Acts on a body for short time. For short time. Look at this words. What is impulsive force? It is a large force acts on a body for short time. It is called impulsive force. And what is SI unit? Impulsive force is just a force and its unit is Newton. And the unit of impulse of a force or impulse, it is Newton second, and the unit of impulsive force is Newton. So students, that's about the impulse, and it's very important article as far as A level or FSC part 1 classes are concerned. And students, next time inshallah we will discuss more things. Thank you all.